Alrighty, we're
Oh my god.
live.
Yay. Okay. So, um, hi, I'm Alex. I know we do this every time, but I feel like since only like 6 people watch it, it's important because one day someone might actually watch it.
Yeah, and I'm Brain.
And this is Politely Parasocial, our yapping podcast.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to start this week's episode with internet news, an internet news segment, if you will, because Bryn
I
doesn't
am
use the internet.
terrified. Hey, I do use the internet, just a different version of the internet than you do.
So I use what I like to call shitter because Elon Musk has ruined it for
So
everybody.
original of
But
you.
yeah, well, no, I mean that's not like my name. That's like a communal. That's like a communal assigned name. That's like it's like a government assigned name. um. Anyway, but I use Twitter. I also, since I'm no longer in the midst of finals hell, have been back on TikTok a little bit, which is a little surreal and weird. And the internet news update segment that I would like to share is that apparently BbnoFreddy announced that he is not making any more music. Which I don't know if that's a bit that he's doing because he does stuff like that
Oh
a
my
lot.
god, you scared the shit out of me. This is what you... Did you see the thing that led up to it?
He did see the thing laid up to it, but what I'm not talking about whether or not he's actually not making music anymore because that's up to him, right? Like to each their own. Have power,
Yeah.
more power to the person in charge, right? If it's a bit and it's his TikTok thing where he's like, "I'm 2 million likes, I'm gonna stop making music," cool, whatever. Or if it's not, that's fine too. Whatever he wants to do. What I do want to talk about is the way that everybody is reacting like Hitler died, when Baby No Money is like the furthest thing from Hitler that you could possibly get.
Hey, what the fuck?
Exactly. I don't know why everyone is okay. I'm not gonna claim that he has like some kind of crazy original music or that like everyone even needs to like it. Like everyone has their own taste. Everyone is entitled to their own musics that they like and things like that, right? I'm not gonna
Yeah.
like begrudge anybody that. There's a lot of musicians that I really don't like that are really popular. I'm not gonna name any because I don't want to get killed. But
So you'll attack fucking Thanksgiving and Wicked, but you won't like talk any shit about music.
actually, that's not true. Speaking on the note of Wicked, I will talk shit. I don't like Ariana Grande, and I don't like Ariana Grande's music. There's a prime example. But you know what I'm not gonna do? I'm not gonna go on Twitter under her account and tell her repeatedly how much I hate her music. Or her fans how much I hate her music. Like I'm not gonna go into her into spaces that are for her fans, right? And be like, I hate Ariana, because what does that do? That is not constructive. That is not helpful. That's just mean. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have to like her music. I can keep that fact mostly to myself, except for in the space that's, my this is my channel. Like this is for me. I'm allowed to say what I want to say on here, but also nobody else is obligated to listen to me here. I'm not forcing
Mm-hmm.
my way into a space that's not for that, right?
Yeah.
So everyone replies of that post, which is crazy, by the way. I know that Twitter is like a hellscape and like a type of purgatory that only people who hate themselves subject themselves to. But also, what the ever loving fuck is up with the replies on that post? People are literally like talking about it like he is like some kind of evil person who has done horrific, atrocious things. And I'm like, this is a Canadian white guy. Like, how is he any different from like any other like Young Gravy or any of those other SoundCloud rappers who are like generally unproblematic and just making kind of fun, boppy, weird music? And I'm going to go further and say that actually, in the other direction, I think he's a genuinely good person who
Oh
does the
yeah.
best that he can with like the community and space that he's created. He
Mm-hmm.
has genuinely done so much for like individual small artists, making like his relationship with like cosplay and the cosplay community is super cool. So
Yeah.
like I'm not I'm not like some kind of mega Baby No Money fan, but I do like some of his songs and I do watch his TikToks and stuff. And I genuinely think he's an entertaining and nice person.
Mm-hmm.
There's also been a couple allegations that have come out where he was like apparently he bullied someone in high school or something, which there's no actual proof of, but I'm not going to say that that didn't happen to that person. But also like he's what, 26, 27 now or something? Like he's an
He's
adult.
only
I'm not gonna.
26 or 27? What the fuck?
He's not that old.
I
I'm
know,
gonna
but I
Google
thought he
this right
was
now.
like late 20s, early 30s.
He's exactly 30 years old. Okay, so,
Okay, God.
but still, he's 30. That's like I'm 26. That's not very far, right?
Mhm.
I'm gonna say confidently that there's plenty of stuff that I did in high school that I regret and would not want publicly put on, the internet for people to shit talk me about.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I also feel like what you did in high school is not indicative of who you are as a person in your like late 20s, early
Yeah,
30s.
absolutely.
So, people are like he bullied me in high school, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I know plenty of people who got bullied, were bullies, etc., in high school and are not that now. That's not to say that there aren't people that are that now that were also in high school, but that doesn't mean that the cycle of violence continued.
Mhm.
So yeah, I wanted to talk about why I don't know why everybody hates Baby No Money. And this is news to me because I like him, and everyone I know likes him, and so I was really surprised.
Who knows how much of it is actually people hating him and how much of it is just Twitter being Twitter, you know?
Well, I went on TikTok and it was full of comments like that too, because I was like, okay, hold on, maybe this is just me being in the hellscape that is shitter. It was like on his old TikToks, they're like, I can't believe you're doing this. I hate you. You like tons of it. I'm like, this is
Wild.
crazy. Like, what a crazy person to decide that you hate. What's even weirder for me about it is that like he's a white man. Like you don't even have what ground are you standing on here? Do you have no reason to hate him other than that like you have decided you don't like his music, which is a terrible reason to hate someone. There's a lot
Yeah,
of good reasons to hate someone. That's not one of them.
I don't know. He's like maybe people hate him for like I don't know. Maybe they think
If
all
you're
of his
gonna hate him
cosplay
for
shit is
anything, it's the
cringe
engagement
or
farming.
what?
If you're gonna hate him for anything, it's got to be the engagement farming, like the
Maybe.
clickbaiting.
I
Like
think
if
it's
I was gonna
funny.
hate Baby No Money for something, it would be like, dude, stop clickbaiting me. I am gullible. Leave me alone.
Okay,
Feel
that's your own
bullied.
problem.
Yeah, and that would be my reason for hating Baby No Money. It's not a good reason either, but that would be the not. I mean, I don't think his music is some kind of like makes your ears bleed type of thing. It sounds like every other brat pop like musician of this generation. I feel like it is not that far off from like what some Macklemore songs sound like.
Okay, now that's too far.
I'm just saying, it has the same kind of vibe.
It absolutely does not.
You don't listen to a lot of Macklemore, do you?
No, nobody does.
I do.
You listen to a lot of Macklemore?
I listened to at least 3 Macklemore albums all the way through. Oh my gosh, the deafening silence.
I'm speechless. Wow. I have to rethink everything I knew about you. My evaluation of you having good taste is, well, okay. I don't know if I
I
already
was
had
like, wait a
that
minute, that
point of
was
view, but
already not.
goddamn.
I have never claimed to have good taste. I have very specific taste, but I would never claim that it is good.
But Macklemore though, wow.
Like nostalgia food for me though. That is what I listened to in like middle and high school. I was
That
on the
sounds
radio in
about
middle and
right.
high school.
Okay, I guess. I mean, I like what you like, I guess. Macklemore is a choice.
Speaking of liking what you like, the next segment that I want to talk about that you actually brought up as like a topic for once. The funniest thing is that speaking of logging on to TikTok, I logged on to TikTok, and you remember when Barbie and Oppenheimer came out, and everyone was like, Barbenheimer is like this whole thing. So my
Mhm.
Barbenheimer happened this past week, which was the JJK, Jujutsu Kaisen Shibuya Incident and Execution movie released on the same day as the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie.
I
And
didn't
I
even
was
know it
like,
was the
this is
same
it. This is
day.
my weekend. Yes, this is my weekend. Um, so yes, this weekend I saw the Jujutsu Kaisen movie 3 separate times, and I did also see Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
Hell yeah.
My review of Five Nights at Freddy's 2, which I got apparently is wrong, which is that it is a great movie for the fans. It has the worst script I have ever heard.
I don't think the script was that bad. I mean, I'm also like you know more about smart people things like scripts, I guess. I don't know. I didn't think it was that bad. I definitely don't think it was that much worse than the first one.
I well, okay. So it's been a really long time since I saw the first one, so I don't know how well I can compare it to the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I did really like the first one. The first one was the perfect for me as someone who was a fan of the first 3 games and only the first 3 games and didn't play anything that came after. And I didn't even really watch hardly anything that came after. I think I watched one person play Security Breach because of the memes. Like I was like, I gotta know where the whole like Vanessa, I am, that internet meme for a while.
Huh.
Um, yeah, but I didn't, and because for some reason someone asked me to cosplay from like one of the glam rock versions of the animatronics, and I was like, okay, I need to actually know what this is before I agree to this because I'm not putting that much effort into a costume for something I don't know what it is.
That's
And I'd
wild.
said that I'd said that I liked FNAF, but I wasn't like, I hadn't seen that game. And I'm gonna be so real, I have not been into the lore of it probably in like 10 years. So the first movie for me was perfect because it was the stuff that I was already familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
And it had the kind of grunge camp aesthetic of like the first 3 games where they were just kind of like the poor script of the movie kind of was reminiscent of the fact that you don't really do anything in those games. Like the
Mm-hmm.
camp of the game it play itself felt appropriate.
It's
And it
I you don't think you do anything in the games? I mean, like, yeah, sure, there's not much action, but like,
you do, but it's not like an RPG type thing where you're moving and running, and I mean you have to do a lot of clicking. But it's not, especially someone who's like, I have played the first Five Nights at Freddy's game, and I've also played I played at least one other horror, I think 2. I don't remember. At least one other horror game. And so the mechanics of it are, which is why it was so successful, right, are very different from your standard horror game that was coming out at the
mm-hmm.
time. But because of that, like the camp of it is a little bit there's no dialogue in it, right? Like that's the point. And so the fact that the dialogue in the first movie was bad kind of felt appropriate.
Hmm.
And then the only dialogue in the first game is the phone guy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So the fact that like the only person that had a really compelling dialogue arc was Michael Afton, who was also the phone guy, right? Felt
Mm-hmm.
right. Like it felt good. And Vanessa being super stiff and everything, like it was like, okay, this is fine. She's a cop, whatever. And then the second movie, I feel like leans a lot more into the fan community of it all and the lore of it all, which is fine. And I think that that's good. I mean, I think we need movies that cater to those niches, and I think we need like generally, I do think bad horror movies is an important part of the cinema ecosystem. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna discredit it because it had a bad script. But I do think that it wasn't as strong as the first movie for quite a few reasons. One of them being the script felt even more contrived than the first one. And
Okay, what
two,
about it? What about it felt that way?
specifically the interactions that were between okay, there were three things that I noticed. The
Mm-hmm.
interactions between Vanessa and Mike were much more awkward than they were in the first movie, and it felt like there was the expectation that the audience should know that they had like done some kind of work on like moving past this. There was a lot of emphasis on this much time has passed, but they did a lot of telling and not a lot of showing about like how the characters had evolved over the time that had passed. The only instance that we kind of got of that was Vanessa at her spin class, which actually is one of my favorite sequences in the movie because I think one, it's actually genuinely scary, and two, I feel like it really actually shows us what's going on with her character rather than going, well, I'm not my dad, I'm not my dad, which she must say like at least 6 times in that movie. Um,
Okay.
the other the other sequence that I feel like was really the most frustrating thing for me in terms of the script writing and dialogue and stuff was every single time that Mike would talk to Abby, but then wouldn't actually talk to her. Like,
Yeah.
she would be like, I miss my friends. And I'd be like, this is the moment where you tell this child, who is not actually a child, but is in fact almost 12, that their friends are ghosts and that they inhabit animatronics. And while it is okay to miss them, it is not okay for them to be your only human relationships. Like, have a genuine conversation with it. And if you're not going to have the conversation with the kid, put the kid in therapy. Like, that is the most unbelievable part of the show. Like, the whole thing. Like, this guy was doing weird dream therapy and stuff, which I get, maybe he's not pro therapist, but like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was so unbelievable. And the unbelievableness that he would just like continue to gaslight himself into believing that she didn't find her friends or that they weren't talking, like all of these things where he's like in such denial about Vanessa all the time. And it just also, to me, felt like, okay, now he is a very in denial character, Mike, as a character.
Yeah.
But he went through all of that in the first movie. It seems to me like if the girl that you went through this all with the first time came in and says, "Hey, there's more animatronics," maybe believe her. Like, I don't know, just a crazy thought
I
there.
don't think she ever. Wait,
Um,
are you talking about Vanessa or
no, she
Abby?
fully did. Vanessa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I do think that the gameplay sequence that they put in there where he's trying to click through that really old computer and it's
Mm-hmm.
taking forever is in fact hilarious because that is exactly what it feels like to play the game.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Okay,
I
so it's funny to me that those are the problems that you had when to me those felt like the least important things about the movie.
well, that's why I think they felt like problems to me because they were the least important things about the movie, but they took up so much time. Like if you look at the runtime of it and you look at how long those sequences were, they make up like more than 30% of the film, which to me is frustrating because when I go to see a Five Nights at Freddy's film, I don't really give a flying fuck about what Vanessa and Mike are doing. They're the air quotes main characters, but they're not. Like I want to see the animatronics.
Okay, so
Like
I think that's kind of why that happened. Like because it has to be a movie, it has to be like there have to be I mean, they don't have to be, but the way they're doing this movie is there are characters, human characters that are the main characters that aren't just like Michael Afton going around killing kids, you know? Um like
right, which I also understand, but I think
like
they're
in
and this
FNAF, the security guard dies or whatever at the end of the game, or like is there and just leaves, or you have no idea if the security guard is like actually the same guy between games or whatever. Um, so
I mean,
like,
I'm not opposed to them building characters for this. I also think the choice to split the security guard, Vanessa, and all these other people into three separate characters with Mike, Michael Afton Jr.,
okay, so I
and
think this is why
Vanessa
I
is a
think
good
this is
choice.
hmm.
I
So you
genuinely
don't
think
know
it's a
anything
good
about the
choice.
lore at this point. Um,
Seen
the
from Twitter
first
and
three
people complaining or liking it or whatever. But yeah, I don't
that's
like read
definitely
about
the
it.
most reliable way to
Yes,
learn
a
about
very
things.
reliable source of income, of not income, information.
Um,
Same difference.
so Vanessa is most of the human characters that they have in this, aside from Michael Afton and William Afton, basically don't exist in any substantial form. Um, Vanessa
Well,
is
Vanessa security
Vanessa is
guard
from
is in
Security
security
Breach.
breach.
Um, but there's basically no like concrete information about her. Um, she's basically just like a character model that does things, and there's no real information otherwise. Except for I guess the like therapy recordings or whatever, but like even still that's just vague allusions to stuff. Um Not like a fully fleshed out character, much less one that appears like in anything related to the first or second game. Um there's definitely no security guard and his little sister character, right? So like this is all stuff that they're making up for the movies. So like as long as it's not like the Room levels of bad, I don't really care about it personally. Like it's there, it exists, it's a device to move us between the locations in the games, you know? Um and then Michael Afton, like I, I would assume at this point you would understand that this is all spoilers for stuff in the lore and the games and whatnot. Um
Yeah.
so like that's an actual solid character. Um
Right, because isn't he okay, so here's what I do know. He is the security guard at one point in one of the games, and I know that he is Michael or William Afton's later in one of the games they say he's William Afton's son. I also know that the little brother thing was like that his little brother got killed by William Afton is like a canonized thing, so that whole thing being part of like Mike's storyline in the movie is connected to that. But I don't I know that they have like split that character up and like elements of that character and put them in different characters in the movie.
kind of. Kind of. Um uh Mike security guard, the little brother thing, literally could just be any kid. Like Afton killed a lot of kids. It literally
Ah,
could just
yes,
be
the
any
child
kid.
murderer.
Um, Child murderer does child murders. Shocking. Um, but so Michael Afton is, from what I understand, and my like understanding and recollection of the lore from what is generally accepted, um, is is that he was the character in Sister Location. Um, God, having to remember the FNAF timeline on the fly is wild and not something I expected to do today. Um, but so how many kids Afton has is also a confusing thing. Um, so in the FNAF movie, or the second
It's like
one,
a Schrodinger's cat number.
kind of like there are kids, they are somebodies, they are usually dead. Um, if they're the same kid or like whose kid they are or like when exactly they died, all that's messy. So in you consume FNAF content of or fan content of FNAF more so than like the actual FNAF itself. So you probably know who Circus Baby is, right?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, when she showed up in the movie, 10 out of 10 cameo. Like
Yeah,
so cool.
right.
Yeah.
Like it's also not just a cameo. It makes sense for her to be there. Um, be-
Isn't her like she's possessed by one of William Afton's children.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So I see I did know that.
and also I think Sister Location is pretty early in the timeline. Debatably before FNAF 1 and 2. So it makes sense that she would be in a flashback like that. Um, and I feel like them putting together some element of a timeline is really cool with all of the stuff that they did. Like stuff with the puppet, stuff with Charlotte, um stuff with Charlotte's dad. You stayed till the very end of the credits, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that recording at the end,
Yes. It's her well, she's doing something to him. I mean, well, I know that he's also okay, so I knew that before I went in and saw the movie that Was the minute he showed up, for one, I knew who Charlotte was because I did like the second game, and the second game is my favorite game. So I did know who the marionette was and who Charlotte was. And I also knew that she was the daughter of the other guy and that William Afton
Yeah.
killed her and that that was a plot point. So I knew that, and I knew that he was like lying about things to Mike and things like that. So that was fine. I feel like
I don't feel like he was
I feel
lying
like
to Mike about things. I think it just was very convenient that he didn't get to communicate
it was
that
a
at this
lie
point.
of omission.
I don't think
He
so.
should have started the conversation with I used to be William Afton's business partner.
I I mean definitely for him at that point the most important thing was talking about his child who died. And I think for him that character from what again from my understanding of the FNAF lore and timeline and whatnot, that character doesn't actually know much about what's gone on in Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, he knows that something is up. He knows that his business partner ended up killing kids. He knows that his business partner uh did a lot of weird and shady things, but he doesn't know what exactly they were. Um like Afton definitely knows more about like he, I don't know that he knows that I don't know that Charlotte's dad knows that Afton is putting kids in suits, that kind of thing. Um
Real question. Going back to the first movie, speaking of putting kids in suits, my biggest complaint about the franchise movie franchise overall is that I feel like it genuinely lacks some of the actual, which I mean, I don't know how they could portray this without getting in trouble and making it like an N-17 rating. But the like part of the appeal for me of the first game was that they described the mucus and viscera coming out of the animatronics because there's bodies stuffed in them, and I was like, yes, I can't wait for this scare. And then there was like nothing. I was like, that they're just dirty.
Yeah,
Like,
I that has to be a rating thing. A rating thing, and
right?
also like genuinely a lot of young people are fans of this, and if they're going to be like showing this to a wide audience of mostly younger people, they're not gonna make it like Saw, you
Actually, stuff
know?
the dead bodies into the animatronic suits.
I think
It's just gonna be a
that would be a
metaphorical
rating
stuffing.
thing. Like it has to be a rating thing where like they don't want to actually portray dead children, you know?
Right, that, but also like I feel like that was like part of the horror of the original games was that that was also part of what made William Afton so scary. He was scarier than the animatronics inherently, right? As a
Yeah.
person, because right, because who does that? Like
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
I mean, and this is obviously I would never murder a child. Like who does that in general? But to murder a child and then go so far as to stuff their dead body into an animatronic that performs in front of other children, like that's a next level kind of fucked up.
Okay, but this is like another layer deep of the iceberg that I don't know if you would know about. He does have reason for doing that, and it's debatable at what point he figured out that reason.
I know about the immortality thing, which personally I think is my least favorite
Immortality
like
thing?
canon. Isn't he like trying to achieve immortality and that's why he's murdering the children?
No.
Wait, where did that come from? That must have been from a different thing that I'm thinking of.
Okay, so we've almost been talking for a half hour. I'm not going to get into Agony and Remnant right now. Um, but because of and I can't believe I'm even getting this far into it on this episode of this podcast, but because of the Five Nights at Freddy's novels and like the novels and the Fazbear Fright series and I don't think the stories from the Pizzaplex or whatever is terribly related yet. Anyway, especially like the original like four or so novels, stuff happens when strong emotion is around the metal of the animatronics. Um, Specifically, like murdering a child and stuffing it in the suit that contains the endoskeleton of an animatronic. Um, and that is like related to ghosts, is related to so much weird shit in the FNAF canon. But theoretically, at some point, Afton learned that the the ghosts of the kids he killed were sticking around after they died, and also sticking around the suits and the endoskeletons and such. And when he started losing his own children, he he tended to want to use that to bring them back in some way, intentionally or not. Um, Intentionally or not, he ended up doing things that would bring them back in some way or another. Like the kid who got crunched in the bite of 87, or actually the bite of 83 or whatever. Um
The
he
bite.
Yeah, he wants to bring that child back, and he accidentally kept Charlotte and the one inside Circus Baby around. Um
Elizabeth
Elizabeth, yeah.
or Emily? Yeah,
Elizabeth.
something like that.
E- Henry and Charlotte Emily. The last name is Emily. It's confusing. Um
Okay.
anyway, he kids started sticking around in the animatronics in which by which they were murdered. His own kids started sticking around in those animatronics. He figured out there's something up with the metal now. And then in the bonkers FNAF novels and extended FNAF universe, in the FNAF literary universe, um more stuff happens with that. Insane stuff, like rejected Twilight Zone episode stuff. That's where MatPat Mpreg comes from. And I think that's where I'm going to end my contributions to this episode, because if you've hit MatPat Mpreg, you've gone too far.
Okay, so circling back to the movie itself and not
Yes.
the lore. My This just further confirms my opinion, which is that it is a good movie for the fans and it is not an objectively good movie. Because if you have to know all of that to be able to
No, I
actively
don't think you have
really
to.
enjoy the movie,
I don't think you have
you
to.
have to have at least a little bit of you have to have at least my level of background lore and interest in it. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the parents that were in that movie theater with me were not having a good time.
Okay, but also, like, the people who were in that theater with you were not good people. They were making
Yeah,
fun of their kids. They were texting through the whole movie. Like, that's just
but the
bad
point
movie
is that
etiquette.
it is bad movie etiquette. But it also shouldn't, and part of that is at least a little bit of like the stigma around things that autistic people like and people being assholes about it. But another part of it is that like even my parents who which like they try not to be like that, right? Were like, this is so like the script is so bad, I don't know what's going on. Like they couldn't follow it.
Hmm.
So like if you can't follow it, it kind of becomes a little bit like problematic. Like
That's fair,
I could
yeah.
follow it
I mean,
because I knew.
I feel like there are so many horror movies that are so much less put together
Oh,
than
I agree.
this.
Which, as I was saying, the bad horror movie is part of the cinema ecosystem. You need it. I just wish that it wasn't this movie. Like,
Hmm.
I I love especially the horror elements of Five Nights at Freddy's. That is particularly what draws me to it, which is weird because I'm not drawn to a lot of other horror things.
Hmm.
Um, but genuinely, like, the concept of haunted animatronics, I think, is such a cool concept. And I feel like the
Yeah.
movie is laying too much into the lore to the point where we can't even enjoy the fact that this is a scary movie about the haunted animatronics. Like, they didn't utilize the animatronics near enough, I feel like.
That's very fair.
They spent too much time with characters and lore building around things that, like, while very relevant and probably super impactful to a lot of fans, probably didn't resonate with your, like, general average moviegoer who doesn't know that much about it.
Hmm.
And so I think leaning more into the, hey, this is a movie about haunted animatronics, let's make some really scary haunted animatronics, they kind of leaned actually further away from that in the making of the movies and have made the animatronics, like, kind of watered down a little bit. Like,
Okay,
I think
I have an idea for further discussion about this and also a future episode. I think this should be compared more to other video game movies.
I think if we're
Because,
going and comparing it to other video game movies, then yes, it is a perfect video game movie. It is a terrible horror movie,
oh sure,
which is
I
what
think,
it's marketed as.
well, so I think because a lot of the fans of FNAF are younger and they didn't want to make this a like the fan base is younger, it ends up with a rating high enough that a lot of the fans can't see it. Like,
Right. Well, so they made a Silent Hill movie a while ago, and this reminds me of that because the
okay,
Silent Hill
okay,
movie is
literally,
objectively a
the Silent Hill
terrible.
movies, the Silent Hill movies and the Resident Evil movies are like one of the main reasons I want to talk about video game movies in a different episode. Like I think we need to fucking do some
Opinions on
research
the
and
Silent
bring
Hill
this back.
movies. Well, I've seen the Silent Hill movies, and I've also played the Silent Hill, at least two of the Silent Hill games. So I
Hmm.
have lots of opinions on
Wait,
that
which
too.
ones?
2 and 3.
Hmm.
And I've watched playthroughs of PT many, many, many times.
Have you seen the Silent Hill 2 remake?
They did a remake?
Oh my God, okay. See, we are both very online, but in different parts of the internet. Because holy shit, that's like, yes, yes, they did a remake. It's from what I understand, very good. I'm not the biggest Silent Hill fan, so I don't know that much about it. But from talking to like huge Silent Hill fans, like
Silent Hill 2 is objectively the best Silent Hill game. So the
they
fact that
did
they
a
did a
very
remake is
good
very
job
exciting.
of remaking it.
The first one is like so outdated that I don't know that they could remake it. But the second one, oh, it holds up so well, even in the original PlayStation 2 version.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that's the one they remade like earlier this year.
Hell yeah. I might have to check that out. Maybe I can get it for my PS5. Because
Yeah.
I don't play a lot, like I said, I don't play a lot of horror games and I don't watch a lot of horror movies. Silent Hill is one of the things that I have staked my entire horror being into,
Yeah.
and I love it.
I feel like if I just haven't been like in the right headspace to get into a new like story and world and so like I very passively and like half-assedly consumed it. So
Well,
I
I
feel
think
like if I looked into it more I would be interested in it, but I just haven't been in the headspace for it.
I don't know that had I been introduced to Silent Hill via anything other than PT that I would have liked it as much as I did. I think there's
Mm.
something for me about the yeah, about PT specifically and the Guillermo del Toro like ismness of it that
Yeah.
like hooked me into it. Yeah. Where and then because I was like, this is Silent Hill, I was like, now everything's Silent Hill, which is also kind of what happened to me with FNAF. So like
Mhm.
I watched someone play Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and I get weirdly. This is so funny because this is also my huge criticism of the movie. My obsession with the marionette is so deep. Like,
Yeah.
I
That
love
makes
her.
sense for you.
And so when that part of the game, when I watched that part of the game, I was like, okay, now I'm gonna go back and enjoy and consume other parts of this franchise.
Mhm.
Deeply disappointed that she isn't in any other parts of the franchise, but like
Yeah, she is.
she was like not in the first game. And I
Yes,
don't think
she's
she's in
not
the
in the
third game
first
either.
game. She
Well, no, I
only
don't think she's
exists
in
in
the
the
third
second.
one either.
Oh my God. Okay.
Seen it in so long, Bryn. I was
All right,
15.
viewers, we need to. I'm going to take the responsibility of giving Alex a proper FNAF education and just video games in general, because I'm the only gamer you really interact with that much. Um, yeah, wow.
Boxart doesn't count.
What?
Boxart doesn't count. Boxart plays like 4 video games.
Oh, that's what you said. I thought you said box art, and I was like, "Ga honey, games don't have boxes anymore."
My Frontiers of Pandora Collector's Edition had boxes and a box art,
That's a
and it comes in
collector's
a metal box.
edition. They have to give it a box because it's the only physical thing they have associated with it. Anyway,
Beautiful plastic figurine too.
yeah.
Excuse you.
Um,
I play 5 video games, guys.
um, okay,
I
slightly
can count
speaking
all
of,
of them
and
on 2
also
hands.
before I forget, um, you like PT. Have you, do you know anything about Death Stranding?
I like know things about Death Stranding via you and also via the fact that I like Hideo Kojima and Norman Reedus. So I see things about it adjacently. I'm trying really hard not to know anything about it because it is a game that I do genuinely want to play because I've
Okay.
heard lots of really good things about
Yes.
it. And so it is one of the things that I am like actively avoiding learning about. I don't watch playthroughs of it. I don't because I actually want to experience it via doing it,
Okay, well
which usually doesn't happen to me. But
my next thing was going to be you should play that.
okay. Well, so that was what Norman Reedus went on to do after he did PT, and he said that it was like a very similar fun
Well,
experience. And when
yeah,
he
because
talked about it,
PT was gonna be like Kojima's thing
Kojima
with
and
Norman
Guillermo
Reedus,
yeah,
and he
yeah.
didn't get to use him in that, so of course he's gonna put him in the next thing.
Well, so I know that like because Guillermo del Toro and Kojima worked on PT together, so I knew that I wanted to go and like engage with Death Stranding. I until literally like 2 years ago
Guillermo
did
del
not
Toro
have a
is in Death Stranding, like he's a main character.
yeah. I know he's not
Not
directing
as
it though. He
himself,
wasn't doing
but
directing. Yeah, he wasn't doing directing on it though.
oh
Um,
yeah, but he's there.
but yeah, he was doing directing on PT, which is kind of the like why it has kind of the vibe I think it has. But anyways, so I do want to play Death Stranding, and until about 2 years ago, and then last year I was literally not in the country. I did not have a console that could run it, so I've been
Yeah.
waiting until I
Dude,
had a
when you
console
go to
that could
Japan again,
reasonably
you need to just
play it.
take your PlayStation with you.
I think I probably will. My parents are going to be really mad. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but I do. My
That is
TV there
fair.
does actually have 3 HDMI ports, which is crazy since it's like
Whoa,
the size of a
3H.
monitor.
Oh, well, hey,
Yeah,
monitors are big these days.
but it's a TV. Like when you compare it to like our American TVs that are like what 120 inches or whatever crazy bullshit they are now, it's like
Okay, yes, but that's crazy
I'm
bullshit.
really yeah. I we should also have another episode about the disappearance of why there's no like ports in anything anymore and how it makes me want to kill myself.
like,
Like I
like
want all of my devices to have things for
for
places for me to
chords.
plug things in.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why does my TV here have a single HDMI port? I'm like, I can't even plug more than one game console into this. I need more than a TV needs to have at least 3 HDMI ports. One for the Switch, one for the PlayStation, and one for something else.
You you do know splitters exist, right?
Yeah, except that if your TV is older than like 2 years, then the splitter doesn't work. I have a splitter. It doesn't switch. So I have
Hmm.
to go up, stand, and like reach my hand behind the TV and press the weird little button on it that I can't see. That I'm like hoping I'm pressing the right
Oh
button and not turning it
no,
off
you
to get
have
it
to
to
stand
switch.
up and push a button. No.
Yeah, except that it's like behind my crazy 120-inch TV and it's dark back there and I can't fit my torso back there to reach it. That's like
It sounds
no,
like
if
your
I had
problem
marionette
is you're
arms,
just a big
if I could
baby.
stretch my arms and yeah, but you know how annoying it is when I'm like, I've turned everything on, I've sat down, I'm holding the controller, and then the HDMI switcher doesn't work. Like, it is, in fact, the biggest
You should
first
take care
world
of that
problem.
before you sit down.
But I assume that the switcher's gonna work. It shouldn't, like, that's a feature of the thing that I purchased. It should
Well, yeah,
work.
but now you know it doesn't.
My point is that nothing works anymore, and that if it just had 3 HDMI ports, I wouldn't have to do any of that at all, and I wouldn't have to pay for an extra splitter.
Yes, that is, yeah.
I pay for the TV. It should come with things I need it to come with,
Mm-hmm.
like 3 HDMI ports. Is that
Yeah.
crazy? Like the fact that nothing has a headphone jack anymore either. Like sometimes I do in fact need a wired connection to stuff.
Yeah.
I'm tired. Not everything can be Bluetooth. Someday the internet is going to completely go down. Like and everything will be black and no one's going to be able to do anything because the Bluetooth won't work. I'm like I feel like some kind of crazy conspiracy theorist, but like having been in Japan and like with natural disasters and things like that, knowing when like service goes down and stuff like that, I'm like, someday we're all just gonna have like a universal blackout and be like, I can't do anything because I can't turn my phone on. Like, and I was thinking, speaking of shitter, I was on shitter and they were talking about QR code menus, and I was like, the next, like, I have what my parents call a boomer thought of the day, and here's my boomer thought of the day, which is that I think things need to have more holes in them so I can plug shit in, and two, I am so tired of QR code menus, just in general. Like,
Like for
I just
restaurants
want to
or
see, yes, I just want to see a picture of what I'm ordering, and I don't want it on my tiny phone screen where the text is like 8-point font and I click the wrong thing and then it doesn't work anyways and then I like have to put all my credit card information. Like, can we just go back to when I just gave the server my credit card and they ran it on a machine that was swiped? Like, I
yeah,
swear
that's
to God,
fair.
it shouldn't be this hard for me to order dinner. Like, and also, as someone who used to only have, and who has always only had Android phones, there was a brief period of like 2 to 3 years where people were implementing QR code menus, but the QR codes wouldn't scan on Android phones unless you had a specific separate app. And I have to say that
Yikes.
that has never made me hate people more. I know that it's not the people who work there's fault. I'm sure that they have no control over it. But there was a moment where I was sitting and I vividly remember this when I was living in Chicago. I was sitting in a restaurant and they're like, sorry, our menu's only a QR code now. And it literally took everything in me not to stand up and punch the person. It's like, I can't use it. Like, I can't use a QR code menu. I have an Android phone that's
I think
4
the
years
problem
old. It
is
doesn't
you were
work.
in Chicago, because I mean, Texas is
All
Texas,
the
but
time
like I
here.
nowhere does that here.
They do it all the time here in Atlanta. It's
Yeah.
crazy. I'm tired of it. I want a piece of paper. Like give me the
You
laminated
tired of
piece of
something?
paper. It's almost like that's my entire personality. But yeah, no, every year I regress into an older headspace and I feel like I'm turning 90 and I'm like,
Bestie, I think
damn
that's
these
just
young
called
people.
aging. I think that's just
I'm
aging.
25. Almost 26. 26, 25. I am literally 1 month and 11 days away from being a 26-year-old person, and I don't want to think about it. And
Haha,
that is where we're going
old.
to end this episode.
We could have left it at Matt Pat Mpreg, but no, you had to go and be old.
Yeah, it's part of my personality. Aging and being afraid of it, all that stuff.
Skill issue.
All right, well, thank you all for watching this episode. If you liked it, give it a like. If you want to see more, subscribe to my channel. Follow us on Twitch, all of that good stuff. And we'll see you guys next week.
Alrighty, bye bye.